What if the next big war on the bold and the beautiful is not about love at all, but power? Hope is feeling more trapped at Forrester by the day. Steffi keeps acting like business and personal drama can stay separate, but that tension is clearly getting worse. And with even more conflict building around the families, the pressure on Hope may be reaching a breaking point. That is where Katie could make her move. This may not be just about helping Hope. It may be Katie's chance to pull Brooke's daughter into her world, strengthen her own side, and ignite a much bigger family battle. So let's break it all down, because Katie's next step could leave Brooke horrified and force Hope to make a life-changing choice. Hope has tried for a long time to hold her position, keep her balance, and survive the constant emotional pressure that comes with working at Forrester. But surviving is not the same as thriving. And that difference matters now more than ever. Because Steffi is in charge, and it sounds like she is about to make that crystal clear. She may start laying down rules, tightening control, and making it obvious that everything will happen on her terms. On paper, that may look like leadership. But in a workplace already filled with resentment, history, and personal hostility, it can also feel like domination. That is where Hope's frustration may become dangerous. Because once someone begins to feel cornered professionally, every criticism stings more. Every order feels personal. Every disagreement starts sounding like disrespect. And when that pressure keeps building, people stop thinking about compromise. They start thinking about escape. That may be exactly what is happening to Hope. She may be reaching the point where Forrester no longer feels like a place where she can grow. It may start feeling like a place where she is constantly being reminded of who has the power, who sets the tone, and who expects obedience. That kind of environment can wear anyone down, especially someone who already has a complicated emotional history with the woman calling the shots. So this may be more than another round of office tension. This may be the early stage of a career crisis. And when a character like Hope feels pushed too far, she does not just make small adjustments. She starts looking at her whole life differently. Now let's get to the real twist in all of this, because Katie may be looking at Hope's frustration and seeing far more than a family problem. She may be seeing an opportunity. Katie knows exactly what it feels like to be underestimated, overlooked, or boxed in. She has already walked away from that world once and carved out something of her own. That experience gives her a dangerous advantage here, because she would know how to speak directly to Hope's pain. Not with pressure, not with force, but with understanding. And that is what could make Katie's move so powerful. If Hope vents to Katie, if she starts opening up about feeling dismissed or controlled at Forrester, Katie may be the one person who can turn that frustration into direction. She could listen. She could validate every wound. She could make Hope feel seen in a way that Forrester no longer does. And then she could make her offer. That is where Brooke may be horrified, because if Katie starts recruiting Hope to Logan, this is no longer just about helping family. This becomes a bold strategic strike. It becomes a way for Katie to strengthen her own company, deepen the divide with Brooke, and prove that her side of this family battle can pull real talent away from the Forrester world. That is why this move would cross the line. Because Katie would not just be taking a chance on Hope. She would be pulling Brooke's daughter directly into the war. Brooke may try to tell herself that Hope deserves freedom. She may even understand, on some level, why Hope would want a change. But emotional logic and family emotion are rarely the same thing on this show. And if Katie is the one offering Hope a new path, Brooke may not see this as support. She may see it as betrayal. That reaction would make complete sense. Because Brooke and Katie are not simply dealing with a business disagreement. There is already tension, resentment, and unfinished bitterness between them. So if Katie reaches out to Hope at the exact moment Hope feels vulnerable, Brooke may believe her sister is exploiting pain for personal gain. And honestly, that would not be an unreasonable conclusion. From Brooke's point of view, Katie may be doing something deeply calculated. She may be using Hope's workplace misery as leverage. She may be stepping into a moment of weakness and transforming it into an advantage. Even if Katie convinces herself she is helping, Brooke may only see a power move disguised as compassion. That is what makes this story so good. Neither woman would have to be fully wrong. Katie may genuinely believe Logan would be better for Hope. Brooke may genuinely believe Katie is manipulating her daughter's frustration. And Hope, stuck in the middle, may be forced to face the worst kind of pressure. The kind that comes from two people who both claim to know what is best for her. That kind of family conflict never stays calm for long. This is where the story becomes much bigger than one argument between sisters. Because if Hope seriously considers leaving Forrester and joining Logan, then this is not just a job change. It is a statement. It is a shift in identity. It is Hope choosing where she wants to stand when the pressure becomes impossible to ignore. And there may be real temptation here. At Logan, Hope could have more freedom, more breathing room, more dignity. She may no longer feel like she is answering to Steffi's constant commands. She may no longer feel trapped in a cycle where personal resentment keeps poisoning professional life. That kind of freedom could be incredibly appealing, especially if Forrester continues to feel suffocating. But there is a cost. Because once Hope makes that move, there may be no going back to neutrality. She would be taking a side. She would be stepping into Katie's world at the exact moment the Brooke-Katie feud is already heating up. And that means her decision would not just affect her career. It would intensify a family war. That is a heavy burden. It also raises another fascinating question. Could Dickie become part of this shift too? There still seems to be room for him, and the show has already hinted before at possible involvement with Logan. If Hope and Dickie both become part of Katie's team, then Brooke may see the whole thing as a full-scale raid on the future she thought still belonged to her side of the family. That would be explosive, because then Katie would not just be building a company. She would be building momentum. And Brooke would have to watch it happen with two people she cares deeply about moving further into Katie's orbit. As tempting as it is to focus only on Katie and Brooke, the truth is this story may still come down to Steffi. Because Hope probably does not make a move this drastic unless she feels she truly has no better option. That means Steffi's behavior in the coming weeks could be the deciding factor. The more controlling she becomes, the more frustrated Hope may feel. The more she reminds Hope who holds the power, the more likely Hope may be to walk away. And that would be the ultimate irony. Steffi may think she is protecting order, protecting business, and protecting her control of the company. But if her approach pushes Hope straight into Katie's hands, then she may end up creating the very shift she wanted to prevent. That is why this feels like a slow-burning turning point. Not because Hope has already left. Not because Katie has already won. But because all the conditions are lining up for one major emotional decision. Hope is frustrated. Katie is positioned to listen. Brooke is primed to be outraged. And Steffi may keep tightening the pressure without realizing how close Hope is to breaking away completely. That is classic bold and the beautiful tension. So the real question is not just whether Katie crosses the line. The real question is whether Hope is finally ready to cross one too. Because if Hope reaches the point where she can no longer tolerate Steffi's rules, then Katie may offer exactly what she is desperate to hear: a new beginning, a new role, and a chance to take back control of her life. But if that happens, Brooke may see it as one of the most shocking betrayals this family has faced in a long time. And once that line is crossed, the feud between Brooke and Katie may never be the same again. So what do you think? Will Hope stay and keep fighting at Forrester, or will Katie lure her into a bold new future at Logan? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, like, share, and subscribe for more the bold and the beautiful spoilers, theories, and drama analysis.